assalamu alaikum, good morning, goeiemorgen, ishpata, guten morgen.
Assalamu alaikum, ji ayanu, pakhair agale, ni hao, tune shume, washmale, ohai genzaimes, guten morgen, privyet, hola, bonjour, privyet, once again, ladies and gentlemen. For everybody who's out there, thank you very much for tuning into PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning alongside the very energetic Miss Shiza Hashmi, and I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. We hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you so much for asking. How about you? And do you agree that summer has officially started?
Yes, obviously I do.
I'm not happy about the fact.
I do, and you know, since you weren't here yesterday, so that was the first thing which I actually talked about, that how all of a sudden from 17 degrees Islamabad is now experiencing 32 degrees, and that too even throughout the day. And I was like, hey, you know what, what's happening? I really need to drink more water. So ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you keep yourselves hydrated as far as you can take it, you know, where you do not turn on your ACs. I think it will help you, because the summer's not going to be very easy for all of us, because 2019, ladies and gentlemen, was the warmest, second warmest year of the mankind. So please make sure that you keep yourself cool, keep your inner self cool, and just relax. And that's it, you know, do your yoga, you know, probably make sure that you do not go near cold water or ice cubes as of now, because you know this transition, ladies and gentlemen, can God forbid get you sick as well, and we do not want anyone out there to get sick, may it be COVID, may it be anything else. So please make sure that you look after yourselves. But first things first.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a reason why Shiza is so energetic, and that's something which we will be discussing towards the end of the show. The last 5 minutes will be dedicated to Shiza today, ladies and gentlemen. That's something which we will be trying. But other than that, you know, the fourth day of the second test of Australia versus Pakistan is on, ladies and gentlemen, at National Stadium, Karachi, where Australia is showing no mercy to Pakistan, unfortunately, and it's because of the fact that Australia, ladies and gentlemen, in their first innings were able to score more than 550 and then declared, and then Pakistan came to bat in their first innings. They couldn't do much better than 148. Which was of no use, to be very honest, and they were all out. But now I think Australia is going to bat till the lunch, or probably, you know, a little before that, or because what they might be thinking is that they wanted to rest their bowlers, maybe Mitchell Starc, maybe Pat Cummins as well, and then they wanted to make sure that, you know, their bowlers, once they come in, that they're going to attack Pakistan the way they did in the first innings of Pakistan as well, where things are not looking very good. I think either Pakistanis, if they play very wonderfully well, they can just take it to a draw, or other than that, I think Australia is winning this test match. I'm very sorry to say that, and that's not something which we wanted to see, but yes, it's a game, and the one who plays it better wins. Why not?
Well, it's still going great. I mean, we're still happy about the fact that it is actually happening in Pakistan, that too successfully.
I think now it's just, it's not enough, and it's because of the fact, okay, with the first match, we were happy, we were ecstatic, you know, they were coming in after 24 years. But what were we doing? Why didn't we plan? Why didn't we prepare that much? Because, you know, we were talking about Mitchell Starc reversing the ball, and that's something which Shaheen and Hassan were doing as well. But why, you know, the question is, why was Mitchell Starc so impactful rather than Hassan Ali and Shaheen Shah Afridi? Shaheen Shah Afridi happens to be one of the top bowlers in the world as of now, and he's been awarded by ICC the Garfield Trophy and the ICC Men's Player of the Year award, which I believe is huge. But I think there's a changing trend, because Pat Cummins obviously gets to captain in Australia. Fast bowlers are coming in as captains, and it's been said that they're better captains than any batter or wicketkeeper.
Oh wow, interesting. Well, fingers crossed, of course. I think we are eventually going to come out better than we are performing right now.
I hope so.
Hope in that. But along with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you are living in Islamabad, you might have noticed a lot of banners and posters of this thing going on
overseas.
As well. Overseas Pakistanis Convention, yes. In the past 4 years that I have been working with these organizations, I have learned a lot about how a lot of rights
I think she's going to make me cry, man.
I was going to talk about overseas Pakistanis, but sure. How a
you
lot
happen
of
to
rights,
be one.
A lot of rights have been sort of bestowed to them. With the help of this incumbent government, of course, I feel like they have now been provided with a platform to actually sort of sound their voice first of all, and then be catered to all those things that they raised. So a lot of thank you Imran Khan is going on in the Twin Cities as well, ladies and gentlemen, to give you a little
all
detail.
All over Pakistan, all over the world, wherever Pakistanis are, yeah.
Why not? To give you a little more detail about the convention that it says, Shahzad, do you have some minutes?
Exactly, yes, obviously I'll always have something to share, Shiza, as far as you keep on asking. So Minister for Communications Murad Saeed has commended the contributions of overseas Pakistanis to the country's economy. Addressing an overseas convention in Islamabad, Murad Said said the overseas Pakistanis are ambassadors and pride of Pakistan.
Yes, the Minister for Communications said Prime Minister Imran Khan has truly represented Pakistan and raised the issue of Islamophobia at the world level, and that the government has initiated several schemes, including health cards for the welfare of the people. Of course.
And Senator Faisal Javed said Prime Minister restored the Pakistan's positive image abroad. He said opposition is misleading the public for their own gains and wants NRO from Prime Minister Imran Khan, which obviously he's adamant. He's saying, I'm not going to go give it to anybody. So I think that's great. We have seen an NRO in the past as well, and we certainly do not want to go down that path, and we truly support. And it's not because of the fact that I happen to be an anchor person in PTV, but that's certainly something which we shouldn't be doing, because if somebody has looted some money from our money, ladies and gentlemen, from our tax money, we want it back. We do not want them to be forgiven. All right?
Absolutely.
That's how I want to start my day. I want my things back.
I absolutely love the jazba over here. I mean, it's the era of accountability and transparency. True. And if Pakistan is not living in that era, I don't know where we're living. Yeah. So we're definitely on track. But, we spoke about Islamophobia just a minute ago, and today happens to be the International Day for Combating Islamophobia. Pakistan, our leader Imran Khan Sahab, we happen to be, I feel like, the flag bearers of it as well, because we have been at the target of, a lot of allegations, to be honest, and then sort of propagation of Islamophobia, and we couldn't face it or combat it internationally before this. But now we are doing it, and I feel like we are with Imran Khan in this. Shahzad, what do you have to say about it?
Exactly. So all I need to say is that, all over Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, Islamophobia Day is being observed today to denounce the rise in intolerance and discrimination against Muslims and other minorities in the West, India and other parts of the world. International Day to Combat Islamophobia is being observed, as I said, and Pakistan joins the Muslim world to observe the day, Shiza, as the country has emerged as one of the leading actors to raise its voices against Islamophobia. And once again, thanks to Prime Minister Imran Khan for this credit as well. The credit for introducing the Anti-Islamophobia Day on March 15 also goes to Pakistan's leadership, as country had represented a revolution at the 47th session of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Council of Foreign Ministers in Niagara in November 2020. Since then, the 57-member OIC has been working with the international community to commemorate this day at the global level.
Brilliant, and definitely it's not just the Islamic world now. Remember when Trudeau actually, sort of created a committee just to combat hate speech and Islamophobia for that matter. So I feel like the issue is really
highlighted.
I mean, yes, highlighted very well in the international realm, to be honest, and Pakistan will always be there to play its role.
And we will not allow anybody to do this with our religion anyways, ladies and gentlemen, because we, as Muslims, we would like to say, you've been with us for the last 9 years, me and Shiza, we have been talking about it. We're a peaceful nation. We always make sure. And, I don't really get around the idea where, if somebody else, probably outside Pakistan is going to do it, we'll be like, hey, you know what, he's not mentally fit or she's not mentally fit. All of a sudden you find out it's a Muslim, hey, it's Islamophobia. Stop doing that, stop being a hypocrite, and make sure that you actually find out what's going on the grassroots level.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Do your research first. And speaking of research, today what we're going to talk about, I feel like my co-anchor, the very well-learned and informed Shahzad Khan, has done a brilliant research on it. So I'm just going to give a little bit of it away and then you take over. So ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to be knowing any students or have any students at your home, you must have come across this term. DAAD scholarship or DAAD scholarship, as we call it as well.
DAAD.
Yeah, DAAD, as we say in Germany as well. So this is what we are going to be talking about today on Facebook, of course. You can actually put on all your queries about how and where to go study in Germany, if you're eligible or not, how to go about it, if your, scorecard counts or not. So many questions that any or everyone might have will be answered today. But on this show, we are going to dig a little deeper on the cultural relations as well between Pakistan and Germany.
Exactly. And Shiza, thank you very much for saying that, because, we go back to in 1961 when the Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development was actually formed as well. And that's since then, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan, Germany has enjoyed cordial relations where we have worked on governance, we have worked on economic development, we have worked on sustainability, and now it comes down to education. Just in 2019 and 20, Germany actually gave us 109.1 million euros to make sure that we work on these areas, including energy as well. which I believe is great. And, just a few months ago, we were lucky that I got the chance to host the German ambassador over here in Pakistan as well. And the Pakistani ambassador posted in Germany, so that they both were here. We thought, hey, you know what? It's a good time to interview them. And it was wonderful. And to be very honest, when we talk about cooperation, ladies and gentlemen, that's how nations do progress. We really need to join hands together. And there's a very simple example for that. Example is that, for example, you go to a marketplace, you will see a barber, you will see somebody who irons clothes and washes clothes, or the dry cleaner, you will see somebody who can sell fruits and vegetables, somebody who's selling grocery. So imagine the grocer might need a haircut one day, and the barber might need fruit one day. So everybody needs to come together on the same page to make sure that everybody's life is streamlined and that they get to achieve their goals. And that's what Germany and Pakistan are trying to do for a longer period of time. They are cordial partners as well, which is why we wanted to kind of share it with our audience that before this Facebook Live session takes place, we wanted to reach out to people. If you want to go study in Germany, ladies and gentlemen, this is your chance. You can ask all your questions at 5. They will be live on which page is something which we'll be asking them. And other than that, what kind of courses are available, what kind of scholarships can we apply for. And a lot of my friends, alhamdulillah, they work for Continental in Germany. 2 of my friends, they happens to be engineers as well. And the best part is that they're very happy. I think that the difficult part is that you really need to learn German to survive in Germany. That's one question.
And just yesterday I was watching a German movie and I realized how similar Dutch and Deutsch, if we pronounce it, the German language is. And I was really happy. I mean, yes, so let's move on.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by the head of press, cultural affairs, German embassy. Ladies and gentlemen, she happens to be Miss Dorota Berejiski. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, good morning, guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen, thank you very much for joining us, and it's wonderful to have you over here.
Thank you very much, it's great to be here.
Wonderful. So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by the director of DAAD and Information Center Islamabad. She happens to be Miss Iqbal, and we welcome you back after 2 long years. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks, and it's also for me great to be here again.
Thank you very much once again. So, first things first, we did share that flyer, and I'm going to request Jamshed Sahib if we can have it on the screens once again so that we can talk about it in detail. So what's happening today at 5 p.m.? We have this poster out there. Would you mind explaining?
Yes, of course. Yes, it will be my pleasure. So today at 5, we are hosting a live Facebook session where everyone in Pakistan who would be interested in going to Germany and do some research or go to the university and study can ask us questions.
Wonderful.
We will have Inge Iqbal answering questions about the DAAD scholarship program. We will have several alumni in Pakistan who have completed their studies in Germany, and then they can share their experiences as well. And so if you have questions, go on our Facebook page and ask them away.
And the name of the pages or the title is or the addresses, would you mind sharing that?
Yes, of course. So it's the embassy's Facebook page, and it's called German Embassy in Islamabad.
German Embassy in Pakistan or in Islamabad?
Islamabad.
In Islamabad. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please make sure that somewhere around 4:55, log on to your Facebook, go on to German Embassy in Islamabad. That's where they're going to come live as well, and you will see Miss Inge Iqbal. So let's move on to her as well. Let's talk about DAAD program first of all, and then talk about what kind of scholarships are we offering.
Yeah, so what is DAAD or DAAD as the Pakistanis call it? So we are the German Academic Exchange Service, and we provide information on studies and research opportunities in Germany.
Okay.
And we also offer scholarships, and we provide information on the scholarships that we and other funding organizations offer for studies and research in Germany. And we also administer some of the selection procedures here in Pakistan.
Brilliant. So I think you would be really appropriate to answer this since you've been associated for so many years with this as well. How is the response from Pakistani students whenever you open scholarships? Is it always overwhelming? And what are some of the areas or courses or subjects where you think the response is lacking?
Actually, the response of the Pakistani students and researchers is very high. So every year we receive many requests and also applications. And as in many other countries, it is the case that the most applications come from the natural sciences and engineering sciences, and we do have a lack in the social sciences.
Okay.
And yeah, I hope that every year I hope that more applications will come in so that we can make up for that.
And that's wonderful.
Right.
So are we talking about graduation scholarships over here? Are we talking about postgrad over here? Are we talking about PhDs?
Very good question. We do not offer any scholarships for undergraduate studies, but as of the graduate studies, we do have several scholarships to offer. So as of masters, students can apply.
And for PhD as well?
Masters, PhD, postdoc.
Wow, that's wonderful. So, Shiza, are you looking forward to get a scholarship in Germany?
You know what, I might actually. I need a double master's for sure. I'll look into it. But so today is the event, of course, you are going to be hosting it. A lot of people will tune in. But is it the first time it's happening virtually? Because otherwise it's always a physical seminar, isn't it?
I would say pre-corona, we only used to have physical sessions.
Yep.
But this is something that we have learned through the pandemic, that it is very useful to give also the online sessions. And I think we will definitely keep this up. So even without Corona, we will still offer the online sessions also through Facebook. It is just something that has emerged through the pandemic, but we learned that through these Facebook sessions and other types of online sessions, students and researchers from all over the country can join, and otherwise we can only meet the people who are physically there.
Right.
So there is no real exclusive advantage of the one or the other option. I think both are very important.
Definitely, and I think it's, like you said, it's going to attract a lot of people who might not be able to physically come.
Exactly.
Now, just one more question about this.
Sure, go ahead.
And then, of course,
because, ladies and gentlemen, towards the end, I'm going to explain it to you why I give this leverage to Shiza Hashmi today, that she can ask whatever she wants to ask, and she can have all the time in this world. Please go on.
Wow, super. So this is going to be the most frequently asked questions, because I get to answer this a lot, and I just don't know what the answer is. Is it absolutely important to learn the language before applying for any scholarship through DAAD?
Or probably when you go there?
Yeah, a lot of students ask that.
It is a big question, and I do receive it a lot. It is not necessary for the application. So there are some scholarships where they require German, knowledge of German language, but we also have English taught programs in Germany, and for our DAAD scholarships it is not necessary to learn German by the time of application, but I always recommend to start learning German as soon as they have arrived in Germany, because you need it for your private life.
And you know what, it's brilliant. For anybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, me and Shiza, we always make sure to introduce you in as many languages as we can, and we work on different languages. And it's just interesting. It keeps me happy. It keeps Shiza happy as well. Whenever we might have some newer words to our vocabulary, we'll always make sure that we share it with each other as well. So, which is why I'm going to come down to you, Mr. Rota. So, we obviously want to talk about how culturally we are mixed as well. And, when there's an influx of students coming into Germany, obviously we do share, I'm not really very sure whether we do share the same culture or not, but you're the one to let us know about it. But when we talk about students going to Germany, how do you think that life might look like? Because people who might not have been to Germany as of now, they might not have any idea. So how will it be if they are on a scholarship program over there in Germany?
Right. So I think Pakistani students are in for a surprise once they come to Germany, because studying in Germany is very, very different from studying in Pakistan.
Okay.
First of all,
and how? And I would want to know that as well.
Yes, of course. No. So first of all, our campuses, right, are usually not in one exclusive compound. Our campus is usually the whole town, right? So it's spread out. You get to live like in a university town. You get to go to your classes there, but then you can also, grab a coffee and meet friends. So you're in town actually, which is very interesting, I think. And as Inge said, you don't really need German if you are on if you're on an English program, right?
Yep.
But it really helps, to get to know German friends as well, and it always helps to know the language of the country where you're based, right?
True, and that's wonderful. Which is why the next question which I would want to ask over here is that for people, what we think, because I have had a lot of my friends who went to UK for higher education, to Germany as well. And the ones who actually went to Germany are very well settled in life. On the contrary, the ones which went to UK, I don't know what kind of schools they did go to, unfortunately, I mean, I shouldn't be saying that,
Yeah.
but they had to come back to Pakistan. So do you think that for students who are actually going away from here, from Pakistan to Germany on scholarship programs, will actually have a brighter future over there? Would they be allowed to work? Or do you think that there will be job fest, that there will be people who will be interviewing them after their degree, and that they will have a brighter future to stay in Germany as well? Let's talk about that, because people over here seriously wants to listen to this.
True.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we are always happy that if, when students complete their courses in Germany, that they look for a job and stay, maybe for a few years, maybe also forever. We are of course also happy if they, learn some new things and then go back to Pakistan and start maybe a business here.
Yeah.
So we are open to that as well. But of course we need a good workforce. So
Exactly.
we are very happy if, Pakistanis stay on and work with us.
And thank you very much for saying that, because this will actually lead me to Ms. Singh as well. So now what I would want to know is that, obviously we're talking about research, and when you are offering research scholarships, so you might have done your bit of research as well, where in which areas do you really need the workforce. So let's talk about the disciplines the students should enroll in, which will promise them a brighter future. Do you think that's software engineering? Do you think that's civil engineering? Do you think that's other disciplines?
Or
So
are
let's
you
talk
even
about
supposed to say it? Can you favor
Well,
one over the other?
I would say that students, of course, should do what they really want to do.
Yeah, that's
so
wonderful.
they should not primarily look into so what will give me a brighter future from the financial point of view. They should do what they really love.
No, I
That's
mean,
true.
Because
That's true.
otherwise it will get difficult. But on the other hand, I think that Germany is that we are doing great research in many different areas. So there's the pharmaceutical research, but of course also software and hardware engineering, the automobile industry, but also architecture. So I think you also have a lot of information from the economic area, probably.
Yeah,
But
I
you
agree.
also mentioned that, I'm so sorry if I'm cutting you.
No, that's okay, please go
All
ahead.
right. So you also mentioned that there's always a lack of applications in social sciences or humanities. Is that something you would like to see Pakistanis pursuing in Germany?
Of course. Yeah, we would love to receive more applications from the social sciences and humanities.
All right. It's, to my understanding, and I can totally be wrong, I feel like probably it's the job factor that sort of limits Pakistanis from studying social sciences in Germany.
Exactly, Shiza. Thank you very much for saying that, because that's what our mind. In fact, that's not even our mindset. That's the mindset of our parents. So what happens
Culture.
is, every now and then, if they're going to have a son, he's going to grow up and be an engineer. That's one thing. If it's Dora, hey, you know what? She's going to grow up and be a doctor. and nobody thinks outside the box, because the world now, ladies and gentlemen, has so much to share. Just like Ms. Ng mentioned, and just like Ms. Dorita mentioned as well. Now, I think what we really need to do is that with such scholarship programs coming out, and them themselves saying that, hey, you know what? We would like people to kind of be in humanities sciences as well. Why not? The service industry has grown so much, and there's so many different spheres which we are not tapping onto as a nation. I think it's about time that we change that mindset. Yes, you have another question?
Yeah, I think I'm done questioning about the DAAD itself. If you have a question, go on, because I want to talk about their experience in Pakistan.
Okay, so one last question,
Yeah,
and that is, so for all of those people who are actually applying for the scholarship today, obviously they will ask a couple of questions, but let me just clear it out for everybody. So what are the prerequisites for the graduation program and the postgrad program? So let's just talk about that clearly. And then obviously whatever people will have to ask, how can I book my ticket, where will I stay, and all of that, they can do that themselves.
It depends on the program. So there are different admission criteria, application criteria. So in general, for the master's programs, they need to have, in order to apply for the scholarship, they need to have admission from the university. Right. They should also submit a letter of motivation.
From the university?
Yeah, yes. They need the IELTS.
Also for the visa. Is a bona fide student, something like that? Wonderful.
Yeah, right. IELTS.
So the question that I often receive is the CGPA, which is not always a question from the side of the German university.
All right.
So this is because, as Dorota has already mentioned, our higher education system and studying in Germany is quite different, and they are not looking too much on the scores. It's more about the person and the motivation
Right.
and whether they are a really good fit to the department. So often the university would also do a personal interview, maybe on Skype, nowadays maybe Zoom.
Right.
So, so this would be for the masters, and for the PhD and postdoc it would be, yeah, they have to find a supervisor.
All right.
So they have to find a professor at the German university that would be yeah, able and willing to supervise the research work.
All right.
And they also have to provide the education certificates, the previous education certificates. The IELTS is mandatory.
Okay.
That's something which I do understand, but don't you think that, you know, for people who will be applying for postgrad, it will be difficult for them to look for a professor in Germany who will be willing to
You
assist
email
them on their research work? Or do you think that that you guys are going to help them?
It's a standard procedure, and the German professors are very cooperative.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
they really would love to have international students from Pakistan.
Wow, that's great,
So
you know.
if the students write a really polite and well-structured emails, they can have the exception letter within 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Because it's all online now. They don't have to wait for the mail.
I mean, only one of
And-
us can actually go for higher education.
And that's very promising
That's
to
you.
hear as well. Yeah, I'll definitely try, Shazad. But if I can tell you, or rather share a personal experience with you guys, and this is not coming from DAAD, I tell you, I know a lot of people who did not have a moderately respectable CGPA in the university as well, but the letter of motivation was so true and it came from their heart. And I know those people got accepted. So it really comes down to what your motivation of going there is, why you want to pursue that degree. Please do not care about your GPA. Of course, you should at least pass your exams, definitely. But make sure to put a lot of effort and a lot of heart into your letter of motivation as well. There's a trend over here. People pay people to write their letter of motivation. Don't do that.
And it's not the only trend over here. I think it's a trend in UK as well. Because
Everywhere,
I've seen a lot
I'm
of
sure.
Arab students making sure that Pakistanis write their letters as well for them.
Right.
And they pay them in pounds. Why not? You know, so we're good at writing. Make sure. So
You write for yourself.
I think that what all we need to do is that, ladies and gentlemen, so for whatever we have studied as of now, till now, you know, before you apply for the scholarship, they're just going to assess what kind of a human being you are and what kind of passion you possess to, or what kind of determination you have to be what you want to be in real time. I think that's what it is all about. So make sure that you come out clean, nicer and educated.
Clean.
Yes,
Okay.
so very quickly, I think towards the end,
Yeah.
what you wanted to ask,
on.
you know, how their stay has been over here in Pakistan, Islamabad as well. It's been 6 months with you. You've been here for the last 2 years, if I'm correct, 4 years.
I arrived in July 2018.
It's okay because I've been here for 35 years. So it's perfectly okay. Islamabad is a beautiful city. How have been your experiences?
Well, so I've only arrived last year, right? As you said, it's only been 6 months, but I've been totally blown away by the hospitality of the people, by the beauty of the country, and of course by the richness of its cuisine. I really enjoy Pakistani food. So no, I'm very happy here.
So other than biryani, what did you like in Pakistani cuisine?
Well, I must confess something that people usually probably don't want to hear, but I don't like meat that much.
All right.
And so what I've been really munching
Aloo
on
matar.
was palak paneer.
Okay.
Of course,
Oh my God, it's the best.
Chana chaat.
Yeah,
I like it.
that's a good one. I
Yes.
would want to have one today.
And then dal. My
Dal.
favorite is kati dal. I love it.
Kati dal.
Wow. And have you tried achari dal?
Not yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, I will make sure to do that.
Yeah, please do that, you know, because that's one of my favorite blends of achar and dal, ladies and gentlemen, and it just tastes so yummy. Why am I talking about it early in the morning? That's wonderful. And you know, even in vegetables, you can actually try a big array of vegetables as well, and you will be surprised. But you know what? I think I really need to confess over here that my chef at my place, ladies and gentlemen, cooks some really wonderful vegetables. He's not that good with meat, but with vegetables, kya baat hai. Yeah. What about you, Miss Singh?
We know that you've tried all of it, but do you still like what you liked 4 years ago, let's say?
Yeah, I actually think so. I mean, I live here with my Pakistani family, so
Yes,
my husband is
mashallah.
Pakistani, and we live all together.
Yeah. So you have no option, is what you're saying?
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay.
I just mean that for me, before I was coming here, it was not a totally new culture because I already had some exposure to it. And I also like the Pakistani food, but I also like the Pakistani clothes. What I really like is that over here people are not so hesitant about colors. So in Germany it would not be possible to combine orange with pink and blue, and so over here I can just do it.
There was this one day where I was wearing an orange hoodie and then orange shoes, and then the jeans was off color as well, and then my boss actually took a picture and sent it to me. I was like, hey, you know what are you doing? So it's not really very acceptable in our case, but in your case, obviously, and we love it when you know that you're not from Pakistan, and that you start to get the hitch of the culture as well. I think it's wonderful, and thank you very much, ladies, for joining us. It was wonderful to be in conversation with you, and we certainly look forward to having another 100 blessed years alongside Germany and Pakistan. So let's do that. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much. Bahut shukriya.
Wonderful. Bahut shukriya. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to say thank you to you because we still have another segment. Please make sure that you stay tuned because we're going for a short break. We do have people who are we do have a kid who's just 8 years old. He's motivating people as old as 60 years. How are we doing that? Well, I just need to get my head around it. Please make sure that you stay here to see that super kid who's going to be over here with us in the studios in the next 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We will be
right back. Stay tuned. Good morning.
Didn't miss this chemistry.
Welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shaza Hashmi. This is Shazad Khan, who's super extra polite today. And now it's making me sort of curious. No, I'm joking. You've always been kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So, Shazad, you mentioned that we will be in conversation with a very motivational and inspirational little fellow. Who is he?
I mean, he's a brainy child, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever he goes, he casts a spell on people as well. He's a motivational speaker. He sings songs. He makes sure that he does everything which an 8-year-old boy is now going to do in his entire life, and he has already started to do so, which is why we actually have a small clip to share with you all. Please go ahead, take a look, and we will be in conversation with this smart child over here in the studios with us. Let's go, let's take a look. Good morning.
चाहिए कि हम लोग एक अच्छे इंसान बने ज़िंदगी में। हम सबका ये मकसद होना चाहिए कि हम लोग कुछ अच्छा करें, हम लोग दुनिया को कुछ दें, हम लोग कुछ ऐसा करें कि दुनिया हमें याद पाए। अगर हम लोग दुनिया हमें याद रखे।
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by a radio jockey, a host himself, a motivational speaker, and a person who really wants to turn around the image of Pakistan and make sure that he registers Pakistan's name as the smartest kid producer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we have been joined by Mr. Muhammad Husnain. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, good morning to you too.
Thank you so much for coming back. We always love to have you. So you tell me, first things first, Husnain, ever since you last came here, what have you been doing?
The
regular, the usual.
Yeah, the usual. We are having works, project. But yes, you can say I've been a bit modified and I've get a bit more professional in my work. Personally, nowadays I'm working. I have my own projects in the clips as the people watch. So in that clips, once the children were sitting, so that is also a project of mine for street children. So I did very much.
Wow,
Yes.
that's wonderful. So let's dig in a little deeper as well, because what you were trying to tell them was, the street child campaigns of yours. We certainly want to talk about other campaigns and projects that you have. But what I could get out of that speech was that you were telling them that, we do something which is actually going to bring back a lot of good name to Pakistan. What is your mindset, when we talk about doing good, and what is that something which we do that the positive image will come up?
The thing that I learned until now about all of these things is that if you are taking something from the world, so world will actually remember you, but in the image that it will say that he was a goner.
Okay.
He was a person who just came
With
and
the
he was
taker,
gone.
yeah.
People will only remember you because you were their respected ones. You were like your mother, your sister, your brother, your family members. They will only remember you, not the world. But on the other side, if you watch the lives that have sacrificed itself, has always been the better ones and has always been the remembered ones by all of us. True. If that is from Pakistan, if that is out from Pakistan, if that is from anywhere, they've been always remembered by people. But on the other hand, if we don't sacrifice, nowadays all the things are on our own self. We see that what is our profit in it. The biggest two mistakes that I found in the people of nowadays. The biggest one is that they see for the present. What is in the present? Don't watch the present, watch the future. Yeah. Because if your future is bright, so your present will be better. If your present is hardworking, so your future will be staying and enjoying its life.
Yeah, that's what we all want to do. The problem is I want to enjoy in the present. That's what I think, and I think that's the problem.
How can we do that?
So what you're saying is that if I work hard now, later down the years, 5 or 10 years later, if I survive, I will get to enjoy my life. So for all of that hard work I've done will reap me benefits. That's what you're saying. Wow, that's wonderful. So, but don't you think that you've started working very hard at a very younger age, and that you might get tired somewhat around 25, which I do not want, and I'm not labeling. But because I started working very early. When I was 15 years old, I started as a radio jockey. And then at times, I'm 35 now, alhamdulillah. And I think that, hey, you know what? I think I've worked a lot, and I really need to get away, or probably, just retire.
I feel sometimes the same. But the thing is that I don't say that I should quit it. I say I should take a break from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I cannot say that I'm working from 20 or 10 years. I cannot say that actually. So I don't have a chance to stand in front of my parents.
Yeah.
Like if I tell to them that I'm doing hard work from so much time, so they will say, what about us? We did hard work for 10 to 20 years.
Exactly.
And you're just doing hard work for 4 to 5 years, and now you're just like, I need
and
to
only
quit.
and only if my producer is more generous, and if he kind of shares what our expression is while Husnain is speaking, I think people will get to know what we feel like over here.
Absolutely,
yes.
but you're so cute, mashallah. Can I tell you something? Of course, if you need to take a break, your parents are so supportive and understanding, mashallah. They will never say no, they will understand and they will say, Husnain, of course, you're most welcome to take a break.
Yeah.
But a very different question, and I know that we didn't talk about this before.
Take a break. Yeah.
I mean, come on, he's just a kid.
Obviously.
So, Husnain, what is your understanding of, you know, bachpan hum kehte hain, childhood? What is your childhood like?
My childhood.
Do you like the word even?
Or do you want to be a grown up already? Because you know there are a lot of kids, they want to grow up. You know, all of a sudden they're like, yaar, hum bhi bade hona chahte hain.
I wish I could be a kid of 2 or 3 years old.
Oh, really? Why?
What would you do?
Because in that age, a kid doesn't understand. No, not me.
You want to get
but
away
a
from the
kid.
reality of life? Don't do that, yaar. You're doing so good. You're doing so well in life.
The thing is, I want to be a kid of 1 year.
Okay.
Because I was 3 years old that I started my work. So now I cannot say that literally I want to be 3 years because again I have to do hard work. If I was of 1 year, so I could enjoy these 2 years of my life easily and then I would do my hard work.
I think that's wonderful, and thank you very much for saying that, because that's what I think at times, that hey, you know what, it might be so much fun going
so
back in
cute.
time. Then I think that, you know,
Yes.
if I have to go through all of those exams which I went through in my school
Yes.
days, like, okay, I think I've done better
Yes,
now.
sir,
I do
feel
not want
the
to go
same.
back now.
You feel the
Yes,
same?
sir. When I realized that if I go and do this traveling of age and time, and if I go again and back, only 2 years would be enjoyment. The rest of the 4 to 5 years would again be of my struggles
Yeah.
and hard work.
But it's wonderful, you know, Husnain, everybody has to go through some struggles
Yes,
of their
sir.
life, and it's because of the goals they have in their mind and the
Yes.
determination they have, and only those people reach towards their goals who were determined and passionate every single day, and you have that
Yes.
passion.
Mashallah.
And not just that it's for you, but you are changing the lives of million other kids out there as well. And may it be 5-year-old kid or a 60-year-old uncle, you're still making sure that you motivate them to an extent that they get to achieve what they want. So please continue. Our prayers over here are for you.
Yes,
We want you to continue.
I would
because
indeed continue my work because I'm not, as I say, I am not a 64, even 50 that I could say now it's my time to retire.
so you will
I'm not
always
that.
continue.
Yeah, I would always
But can I
continue.
tell you a secret? Because mashallah, you started so early, you can retire early, and you're so good at it, mashallah. So well,
Yes,
definitely,
but
fingers crossed with that. But
that
I don't
is-
think you're the kind, Henna. You want to work all the time.
Yeah, I want to work all the time and it's my passion, and if I don't, so I get lazy and I don't want to get that.
All right, that's wonderful. But you know what? Obviously, since you're such a smart and brainy kid, so you do understand the value of extracurricular activities.
Yes, sir.
Right? And do you involve in some? Do you have some of your favorite sports which you can mention?
Yes, I have a lot of sports, and if I talk about paper sports, like the one we play on paper, so
Yeah.
in that I would say tick or cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A brainy
Tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe.
Yeah,
Tic-tac-toe.
tic-tac-toe. Yeah.
That's my
I'm good
favorite
at
one.
it. Yes.
And nobody could beat me ever.
Oh, I mean, that's a challenge. Okay,
It's
I
a
accept that
challenge.
challenge. And I
Yes.
wanted to do it on television. I do not have a pen, but we'll do it some other day.
Yes,
Okay,
we'll
what
do
about
it
other
some other
physical
day.
sports?
Physical sports, I would say 2 of them. In indoor, it's chess. I play chess.
Yeah.
And outdoor, it's football. I'm good at football.
Wow, that's wonderful.
nice,
And do you know
very nice.
Cristiano Ronaldo happens to be one of those only in fact, one of the only footballer who've actually scored maximum number of goals. And there's nobody else who's actually done that. There was one before 805, and he's actually scored 806 goals. He's the top scorer in the football field as of now when we talk about it. He's just getting better every single day. But very quickly, just at the beginning, you know, you mentioned that there are a couple of projects of yours which you are making sure that you're going to change
Yes.
and have an impact on the lives of people. You talked about the street children. Are there any other projects you're working on?
I'm working. No, I had, but now they are coming to an end. Nowadays, there is this this academy that is actually curing the drug addicts.
Wow.
So they're actually calling me to give them some speech.
Wow.
I came in this field not as a worker. I came in this field
As a
as
volunteer?
a sensation
Wow.
for
wow.
the people.
And we want this sensation to kind of
No.
go forward as well. And you know, the sky is not even the limit. Make sure that you keep on flying high as well. But thank you very much, Husnain, for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation with such a brainy child. I wish back in the days when I was 8 years old, I actually knew what to say. So thank you very much once again for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, so I think it's that point of time where goodbyes, ladies and gentlemen, are really hard. And to be very honest, when it comes down to people who you've worked with, who you've loved the most, who you've always made sure that you're going to support them, you're going to watch their back, all of a sudden when you get to know that they're not going to be around, you know, there's this feeling of emptiness in your heart, and you will carry it for a longer period of time till the time we live. And so this is something which is going to happen today. And I'm not really very happy. I might be, you know, because I might get to do the show alone.
Or speak a lot.
But yes, Shiza is actually going on a longer vacation. She'll be leaving the show for next 3 months. She's making sure she's planning to study furthermore as well, even though she's studied quite a lot. So these are the images which we are actually sharing with you all. That's what we have been doing. You know, she always plays around with these fake flowers on our table. You know, some silly jokes, putting them in the hair and whatnot. But you've always been a great support, Shiza.
Thank you
and I
so
want to
much.
wish you best of luck for your future endeavors and for whatever, you know, imagine. Look at me, look at you, you know, so we've spent a lot of time.
We were babies, it's been 4
You always
years.
cornered me, you know, I was always at the corner of the sofa giving you more space. And I still remember that from the very start, you know, there was this one thing, because everybody contributes to an extent, ladies and gentlemen, where she was very good with the current affairs, she was always very good with research. And, you know, there were days when I would be late and I would always be like, hey, Shiza, can you please just brief me? And, you know, she was very good with that. And then all of a sudden we knew everything. And it was a good flight, you know.
Yes.
It's not that we're landing, you're just going for 3 months, and we would wait for you to come back, and all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, and I think this very minute I have to take as well. No, you've been too kind. You've been, mashallah, too kind. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first job ever. As soon as I graduated from my bachelor's degree, I landed this, alhamdulillah, I landed this job, and it's been great so far. And it was only possible because of the team I have, because of the co-anchor that I have. You are extremely supportive, extremely educated, well-learned, and I think you are the anchor of the ship, definitely, and I couldn't steer through it if you weren't the anchor. So thank you so much for doing that. A special thanks to, and a major shout out to my senior producer, Jamshed Saab as well, of course. It was his vision. He saw me in this role, and then he implemented me in this role. And I think...
he's been an immense support for both of us.
For the both of us, yes. And my entire team, of course, you guys have been great. Everyone in the MCR, even the cameraman over here, everyone, including the makeup personnel downstairs, even the watch guards that you know, sort of greet me every day that I come in. I love you all. You all have been an amazing part of my life. And to my lovely, lovely audiences, your response has been phenomenal for me in the past 4 years. Continue to watch Shahzad Khan over here. He is not going anywhere, and we'll be continuing to, you know, bring all the news.
I think you'll actually have to tell me later on. You know, you've completed your time here. It's time for you to go.
He's here anyway.
But we certainly want to wish you best of luck, Shiza. You know, always you have a very positive mindset, and you want to grow and you want to explore. And the world is for everybody to explore as well. So we want to wish you best of luck. And once you're back, you know, we would certainly want that knowledge to be shared with our audiences and with us as well. Only if you decide to come back. Because you know, that's where I was saying she's an expat. Where are you going, by the way? Which university are you applying? What course are you applying for? And what are you doing there?
Well, there are so many things in my mind, of course, but I would be happier to announce when things are clearer. But I am going to pursue sort of a double master's. I have done my master's already, but I feel like there's no stopping in learning, right? There's always more to learn, and why not?
So well, that's wonderful. So thank you very much, Shiza, for giving us all of these wonderful, amazing shows.
It's been my pleasure.
Full of your insight, research, and knowledge, and we certainly look forward to that as well. Once again, may all your dreams come true, may all your wishes come true, and we wish you the very best on behalf of my entire team. May it be Jamshed Saab, Husnain, Atiq, Miss Asiya, or
all
our cameraman over here,
Rajaji,
everybody, the Asim on the MCR switcher, you know, everybody. I think everybody has been a great deal. May it be Masood Beg Saab, may it be Irfan Asghar Saab, you know, for everybody we have worked with, everybody has shared some good love with us as well. And that's what we want, ladies and gentlemen. Towards the end of the day, all we want is love, which is why Shiza's wearing red color today as well.
Absolutely,
on her last day at PTV World, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, look after yourselves, be happy, stay happy, make sure that you make people around you happy as well. We're going now, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to take our flight. Oh, well, her flight. So yeah, why don't you say whatever you want to say?
All right, till the next time, Shahzad. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time, inshallah. I want you to remember me, my entire team in your prayers. You guys have been an amazing part of my journey. I know my voice is breaking up now, so thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Good morning.
1, 2, 3. Good morning.